Lando Norris has just fired the first shots at one of his best mates on the grid, Max Verstappen. Norris has recently been open about his desire to win the Formula One World Championship this year after failing to do it in 2024, and to accomplish that in 2025, nothing is off limits, as that's how Verstappen also drives according to him. But can he really fight fire with fire here? And does he stand a chance in 2025? It is a desire that demands McLaren to make improvement with its car in order to maintain race-winning form throughout the campaign, rather than merely for a portion of it. However, it also requires Norris to improve certain parts of his own performance, such as eliminating the types of blunders that proved so costly last year, particularly on the first lap. However, the final hurdle that will need to be addressed is how to cope with Max Verstappen, a driver whom Norris himself has described as one of the hardest attacking defense guys you can ever go up against. Last year, the two had frequent conflicts, and they did not always end well. In Austria, they clashed while fighting for the lead. In Austin, there was controversy during an intense wheel-to-wheel fight that earned Norris a penalty for an off-track overtake. And in Mexico, Verstappen was penalized for forcing his competitor wide while attempting to reclaim a spot. Norris rapidly saw that fighting Verstappen was a far more difficult task than fighting many other drivers, and he acknowledges that he did not always handle it well. "There were some things that I didn't do a good enough job. I wasn't simply at the level that I need to be to race against Max," said Norris, speaking at the sidelines of the filming day for the new McLaren 39 at Silverstone. But when we're talking about probably going up against one of the hardest attacking defense guys you can ever go up against, who, like we saw in Mexico, very willingly sacrificed himself for the overall outcome, when that's a mentality of a driver, whether it's Max or anyone, that's a very difficult one to ever come out on top of when you're 40 or 50 points behind in the championship. It's never going to be a win for me. There are numerous ways for a driver in Norris's situation to counter that type of aggression. One of them is fighting fire with fire. While Norris recognizes the need to be harder, it is not as simple as throwing caution to the wind in wheel-to-wheel confrontations, and without caring about the outcome. "I need to get my elbows out, and I need to show him I'm not going to willingly give him any positions," admitted Norris. "But I also have to be a smart driver. You have to be a smart driver to go up against Max. At the same time, I don't need to go out and prove something. I don't need to take any unnecessary risks. I need to keep focusing on myself. I don't think you have to do anything special to try and beat Max. He's quick, he's aggressive, he's one of the best ever. But the easy way is just going out and being a bit quicker than him and staying ahead. That's the obvious plan. I know I've just got to be smart. That's the answer to it all. And you have to position your car well and also think of the long game sometimes." The issue for Norris is not give his competitor another comfort blanket of a large points gap, which would leave him with nothing to lose if he crashed. Norris believes Verstappen should be put in a setting where errors could be costly, as this will be the most effective disincentive to the Dutchman taking enormous risks. "So what's the main thing that's going to change this year? I just need more points from the beginning, and hopefully it's the other way around," said Norris. "Being in his position, you can always see it as the vulnerable position, and me, being the chaser and the guy trying to attack, can also be seen as a positive. But with how he drives and the risks he takes, and the aggressiveness he has, there was almost no way I could come back from the deficit I had. There would have been too many scenarios that replicated Mexico or replicated Red Bull Ring, where we were both out in a way." Norris is not alone in believing that opening strong is the key to changing the tone of the competition. Team manager Andrea Stella is well aware that the tale of the 2024 season has altered in Miami. In the first 5 races, Norris had lost 52 points to Verstappen. He dropped just 11 more points for the rest of the season, keeping things close for much of the year. So, given the way Stella believes Norris has progressed, quite impressively at times, providing superior machinery from the start may be a game changer. "He learned very fast and definitely has now all the qualities and skills, mindset to become a world champion," explained Stella. "But similar considerations I can make for Oscar Piastri. So I think as a team, we're in a lucky position to have two drivers that are in condition to succeed. And, if anything, the pressure is on the team. So the first takeaway is to give the drivers a car that can allow them to fight for podiums and wins right from the start. Norris isn't denying that there isn't room for him to improve if he finds himself in scenarios similar to what happened last year, but it's that change of circumstances, along with a new perspective on the title battle, that has the potential to completely shift things. The main thing is just starting off on the right foot, he said. It changes the mentality of every driver. It's a different mentality of Max if he's 50 points behind versus 50 points ahead. That's the key difference. The rest is keep doing what I'm doing. But I know I wasn't at the level that I needed to be at when I first went into those battles with Max. That was clear. I take that on the chin. It hurts. It's always going to hurt when you look silly at times and you don't come out on top. But that's the way it is in life sometimes. As long as I learn from the mistakes and don't make them multiple times, that's the way it is. I need to do a better job. However, can he do that? Will he be able to really challenge Verstappen this year? And does Verstappen even see him as a potential threat? The UK media are taking it with a grain of salt, as Martin Brundle joked that Lando Norris will need to add razor blades to those elbows when he competes against Max Verstappen this season. Brundle, a Sky Sports analyst and former Formula One driver, stated that the McLaren driver feels he will be able to challenge next season, adding that the defending world champion is a tough racer on the track against all of his opponents. I think Lando knows how to lead from the front now, Brundle told Sky Sports News. I think he probably believes he can win a world championship. He'll have to get his elbows out and get some razor blades on those elbows in some wheel-to-wheel combat with Max. That's clear, as everybody has to because that's how Max goes racing. He's tough, and that's why he's won the last 4 world championships. Regardless, Brundle hopes to see the best driver win in what he expects to be a highly competitive Formula One season. I think I have no doubt, but this is going to be a super tight year. It's going to be, I think, incredibly competitive, he said. The regulations are very mature. There's nowhere to go much with the cars. They'll all tweak them here and there, but with this massive change coming for 2026, so quite soon, the teams will want to put their budget, their resource, their people, their manpower into the 2026 car. So I think they're going to start pretty level. We've got 5 or 6 new rookies on the grid. I think the top 4 teams will be uber competitive, and may the best driver win. What do you think? Will 2025 be an incredible season with a real title fight for the first time in years? And will Norris be in that title fight after publicly calling out Verstappen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.